Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and if you have not, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because not only are we covering Scarlet and Violet, but I'm actually going back through a lot of the older games, and we are working on a full, shiny, living deck. At least everything is not shiny locked, living decks. So, let's get on to it. You can check out the previous video to see the information on that. Let's talk about solo running the new raid. So, number one, first things first, we're dealing with a Dragon Terra. Sceptile is a Dragon Terra, which means he's mostly going to be weak to either Dragon, Fairy, or Ice. Now, I think Ice is a choice, but I really think Fairy is a slightly better choice. He's got a Dragon move. Let's see. Move-wise, he's got, in his repertoire, Leaf Blade. He's got Breaking Swipe, which is a Dragon move. It's great. I love it because obviously using a Fairy, he can't touch me. Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is a little scary, but we'll talk about the strat for that. Thunder Punch, which is obviously a Thunder move. And he also uses Leaf Storm at the very beginning and Earthquake. Now, I will warn you that with Leaf Storm, he could hit you right out of the gate, and if he does, that's usually a one-shot. It sucks, but it is what it is. If that happens, just go back in there. Now, strategy-wise, obviously the Fairy Terra, and obviously with his Shell Bell, we always do the Shell Bell pretty much. And as far as EV training goes, I went with defense and speed. Now, speed is a factor. This dude's crazy fast. Even though Iron Valiant is a pretty fast mon, he still outspeeds us. Now, I gave him, I'm trying to remember which one it is. Not Hasty, but I gave him the mint that increased his speed but lowered special defense. Whole reason I did that, we've got to be fast. EV training, obviously, like I said, I went speed and I went defense. I found that was the better one. There's enough physical attack that I didn't feel it was necessary to go into physical attack. So speed and defense are the EVs that I went with. Now, moveset-wise is really interesting. I've got Spirit Break for our main DPS. Reflect, obviously, because we want to limit some of that incoming damage. Psych Up. If you're not familiar with Psych Up, it's a strange move, but what it's going to do is it's going to copy his stats. So remember, he is Dragon Dance, so he'll be increasing his attack and his speed, and all of that is going to be increased through the roof. Finally, I've got Electric Terrain. Now, building Electric Terrain into the repertoire is a bit strange. It's not always super intuitive. It doesn't always work. But it's kind of like that back burner move if we just need a little bit more power out. It's going to help us do that. But Spirit Break being our main DPS, it's not the most powerful move, but it's a great move, and it will definitely get the job done. So, let's go and jump into the battle and check this out. All right, so as we hop into the battle here, this is kind of a really not great situation, but I'll see if we can work through it. So, the one thing that I will warn you guys, the people that you choose to go into battle with make all the difference. So, in this situation, they're going to mess with his buffs. And because this strategy kind of relies on his buffs, that's what Psych Up does. It literally just copies his buff stat. And we can't do it once his barrier goes up. I have to have him fully buffed before his barrier goes up. And I don't know if that's going to happen here. So we're going to open up with 2 Spirit Breaks, then we'll drop a Reflect. The good news is we have Star Raptor here who will drop Intimidate, so we'll be taking a lot less damage. Now, I'm going to see how much damage we take at the end of this turn. I might change my strategy up a little bit. Yeah, we have no damage, so I'm going to do a 3rd Spirit Break so that I can Terrastalize. You got to Terrastalize early here. It's mega important. Now, the downside is with our Bolvia on here, I can't use Electric Terrain. He'll just change the terrain back. It's extremely annoying. It definitely is not preferable, but we'll get the healing out, and that's good. So let's go ahead and drop a Reflect. That'll cut all of his damage in half, and that's about the best we can hope for right now. And on the next turn, we'll do a Psych Up, and I really, really, really hope that he's fully buffed on that turn, or we'll have a problem. We have to buff on the next turn. We have to do Psych Up on the next turn, or we lose out. And if we are behind in damage or in speed, we'll know when it'll cost us the battle. All right, so he's nullified stat changes. That's our cue that we need to psych up. As soon as it lets me, I'm going to go ahead and check his stats. He'll still tear Orb Charge. We actually at least have that before he puts up his barrier. But he is wasting time, big time. That's why I said you got to put that up pretty quick. And his attack is, of course, behind, so I don't have a lot of faith that we're going to be terribly effective here. But we'll see what happens. I don't think 4 ticks on our attack is enough to take him down. I really feel like if he gets the last 2 off, which he most likely will, he'll buff constantly throughout the fight. No matter what you do, he's just to buff constantly throughout the fight. So I love when you queue up an attack and it just decides not to. It says, bro, that's not happening. Like, don't, thanks. Appreciate that. Primo choice right there. So we did a good amount of damage there. But is it enough to heal? I don't know. Because remember, he's still buffing. See, his attack's up again. He's still going. Now, with the heal out there, we'll see. Actually, you know, with 5 ticks, we might be able to do it. Let's go ahead and do another Spirit Break. But I will need to put Reflect back up. So let's see how this plays out. My hopes are high. My expectations are a little low, but we're at 5 checks on our attack, and he's at 6. So maybe it's doable. Reflect's got 1 turn left, so let's go ahead and do another Spirit Break. We're staying pretty even with his damage, so that's the good news. Okay, okay. We could break him pretty quickly. Except for that. Best thing I could do is just drop another Spirit Break and try to stay in front of his damage. Best thing I've got. I would be very, very happy if he would do his dragon move on this turn and basically give us a free turn. It would be the best possible scenario, but he's going to drop Thunder Punch. Oh, you know what? I'm good with Thunder Punch. Look at that. You know what? Let's do Spirit Breaking and break him down. Let's do this. Now, the only thing I'm a little worried about is at the end of the fight, he's going to drop an Earthquake. But I think at this point, we might be okay if he does take us down, because we can always psych back up. And we don't necessarily need the Paralysis at this point. It would be handy, but I don't think it's mandatory? Okay, yeah. I literally spoke it into action, didn't I? Okay. So we come back in, we'll drop a Reflect, we'll psych back up, and we'll just go back to work. We don't need the Paralysis now that the barrier's gone, so this is still very doable. Okay, let's drop a Reflect, cut that damage back. I'm not going to lie when I say 100% what happened there was Star Raptor's. Star Raptor really pulled us out of the fire on that one. The next turn will be faster. That's the good news. Breaking Swipe did nothing. That's the great news. I'm a little worried because he will do Earthquake here soon. And Earthquake is not going to feel great. But let's see what happens here. I think we got it. I think we got this. If we hadn't had so I think his Garnackle actually was messing with his attack stat. Okay. All right. All right. I see you. I see you. It's a bit rude. If Garnackle had not been messing with his attack stat, I don't think we would have had that first L. I think we're just caught in a chain now. So the good news is we should still have Reflect up. First time I've done this with 2 Ls. That's really bad, man. Reflect is still good, so let's go ahead and psych up one more time. And then 1 hit and he's done. He's pretty much done. Okay. This should be the deciding factor right here. This should do it. Could have been a lot more clean, but at least we got the solo runoff. Fantastic. There are probably better strategies out there, but I wanted to use them on that I hadn't seen other people use, and I didn't want to rely on a legendary. Now, obviously, we could go back and we could do this with a legendary and whatnot, but for now, I'm going to put him in a Premier Ball. But for now, this is the strat I've got. Now, I'll come back, we'll talk about some legendary builds, we'll talk about some other really fun builds, but that is one way that you can actually solo this that I don't think I've seen anybody else talk about. So make sure you guys like, share, and comment. I'll be back with more coming up here really soon. Got him. Oh, check out these rewards. Let's see. We got 5 carbos, a bunch of dragon shards. Ooh, we got a TM. Very nice. Very nice. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll see you guys again real soon. I just want to see those rewards.